The country of Switzerland is famous for skiing, being neutral, Roger Federer, Toblerone and Tissot watches, and when it comes to football, Basel. They've won 20 league titles, 12 Swiss Cups, and have been a consistent competitor in European football over the years. And how have they been so successful? Well, they've had some damn good players over the years, players that would go on to become world-class talents. But what if they'd kept those players? Could Basel be a European powerhouse? Here's Basel's best 11 if they'd kept their best players. In goal is Yann Sommer. With 42 caps to his name, Yann Sommer is Switzerland's #1 goalkeeper, recently appearing at the World Cup where his nation reached the last 16, eventually losing to Sweden. Sommer is also strong at club level, currently playing for Borussia Mönchengladbach, who are amazingly keeping pace with the big boys at the top of the Bundesliga. He's been there since 2014, but for Sommer it all began back in Switzerland with Basel. He arrived as a youth in 2003, going on to make his debut in 2009 after a few loan spells away. Sommer would eventually become #1, making more than 100 appearances before leaving in 2014 to replace Marc-Andre ter Stegen at Mönchengladbach. Our first centre-back is Fabian Schär. Formation-wise, we've got a very attacking 3-5-2, so there's a lot of pressure on our three central defenders. The first one is another Swiss international in Fabian Schär, who you can now find playing in the Premier League for Newcastle. He performed well at the World Cup, earning himself a bargain move to Newcastle, where he recently put in his best performance in black and white against Watford. But years ago, Schär was a Basel player, where he's once one of the highest rated young defenders in Europe. He joined in 2012, spending 3 years with the club before a move to Germany. He also played in Spain for Deportivo, so it's fair to say that he's well travelled despite being just 26 years old. He's alongside Mohamed Elyounoussi. In January 2018, Borussia Dortmund paid Basel €18 million for a 22-year-old defender named Mohamed Elyounoussi. Now 23, the Swiss defender is a key component at Dortmund, with the German side currently riding high at the top of the Bundesliga and playing some of the most exciting football in Europe today. With their ability to play out from the back and control possession, Akanji is key to how they set up. He would spend 3 years at Basel, honing his craft at the top of the Swiss Super League, which prepared him perfectly for the fast-paced Bundesliga. A really talented centre-half, Akanji is another example of Dortmund snapping up some of Europe's best young talent. Our third centre-back is Alexander Dragović. 4 players in and we've finally got someone who isn't a Swiss international, as Alexander Dragović is from Austria. He began his career with Austria Vienna, making 66 league appearances before joining Basel in February 2011. He would spend 2.5 years in Switzerland, and in that time he won 3 league titles and a Swiss Cup, before packing his bags and heading to Ukraine with Dynamo Kiev, where again he was among the trophies, winning 2 Ukrainian Premier Leagues and 2 Ukrainian Cups. He's now with Bayer Leverkusen, but you may remember him from last season when he was on loan at Leicester City. The defender barely featured for the Foxes though, making 16 appearances overall. On the right of midfield is Xherdan Shaqiri. A Basel youth product, Xherdan Shaqiri joined the club at the age of 8, developing one of Switzerland's brightest young talents. Shaqiri's Basel form got him moved to Bayern Munich in 2012, the first stop on his epic European journey across some of the biggest clubs in the land, and Stoke City. Shaqiri would then go on to play for Inter Milan, albeit briefly, before winding up at Stoke of all places, where he showed the inconsistent form that had dogged him throughout his career. Following relegation last season, Shaqiri is now a squad player at Liverpool, and he started brightly at Anfield with his calves of steel. In the middle we've got Granit Xhaka. Another Swiss player in the Premier League, we could have had Granit Xhaka at left back with the way Unai Emery's been treating him lately. But no, we've put him in his more traditional position of centre midfield, not that I've ever been too impressed with the Arsenal man. While he's got a rocket of a shot on him, he's not the £30 million midfielder Arsenal thought they'd signed. No, he's not my cup of tea at all, but obviously some people see something in him, and they're much more important than me. I just make YouTube videos. Arsenal is Xhaka's third club, kicking it all off at Basel with his debut in 2010, where he was branded Switzerland's best talent ahead of Xherdan Shaqiri. Xhaka would get the chance to play with his brother Torland, who is still with Basel. Next up it's Mohamed Elyounoussi. It's another Arsenal player, and one that hasn't featured too much since the arrival of Unai Emery, but he has had a number upgrade by taking the number 4 jersey at the Emirates. Injury has restricted the holding midfielder, who was signed by Arsene Wenger back in 2016 from none other than Basel, who gave him his break in Europe after previously playing in his native Egypt. A decent enough holding midfielder, Elneny is nothing to write home about when you compare him to some of the players in this team, but he'll certainly do a job sitting in front of the defence and bringing up attacks. And he's also got great hair, so you can't complain too much. Also in the midfield is Rakitić. The star of the show so far, the Croatia international was actually born in Switzerland and his first senior club was Basel. Rakitić would only actually spend one full season in the Basel first team, but what a season it was, scoring 11 goals in 33 league games for midfield, with his form earning him a move to Schalke. Of course, now he's at the heart of the Barcelona midfield, now in his 5th season at the new camp, and he also played in the World Cup final defeat of France this summer. Now would all of this have happened if he joined Sunderland all those years ago like he was rumoured to? On the left is Mohamed Elyounoussi. He's our most recent player to leave Basel, arriving at Southampton this summer for a fee of £16 million, having terrorised the likes of Manchester City in the Champions League while playing for the Swiss side. While the Norway international has yet to really make his mark in the Premier League, along with most of his Southampton teammates under Mark Hughes, Elyounoussi was a sensational player at Basel, which is why he commanded such a big fee. The winger spent 2 seasons in the Swiss Super League, and in both he scored double figures from out wide, often providing the creative spark that Basel needed. Saints fans will be praying that they see the same form in the coming weeks and months. Up front we've got Breel and Embolo. We very nearly had the enigma that is Seydou Doumbia in this team, who scored 20 goals during a loan spell with Basel not too long ago, but then we remembered all about Embolo, and while he's yet to score as many goals as the Ivory Coast international, he's certainly a more exciting talent, so Embolo gets the nod up top. Since he was a teenager, Embolo was tipped for the top, with an incredible ability to run with the ball with both pace and precision, skills that he honed at Basel. In 2016 he got his long-awaited move away from Switzerland, with Schalke paying €20 million for the forward. Still only 21 years old, Embolo can surely only get better, and he has most of the tools to go right to the top, unlike Seydou Doumbia, who's now in his 30s. And finally we've got Mo Salah. Leaving the best till last, Mo Salah is playing up front in this Basel team because after last season we know how good he is in front of goal, coming in off the right flank to score 44 goals for Liverpool. So we've rewarded him with a place up front, mainly because that was the only place he could fit in this system. He arrived at Liverpool last season from Roma, but he could have been there a lot sooner had it not been for Chelsea. His time at Chelsea is well documented, eventually ending up in him going to Italy to get his career going again. But before he was a Chelsea player, Salah was at Basel, where he played 79 times in all competitions. Back then he wasn't the player he is today. While he had the pace, he didn't have the ice-cool composure. That wouldn't come until he arrived in Rome. Now he's the Egyptian king, aiming to guide Liverpool at the Premier League title. So that's Basel's 11 if they'd kept their best players. Would they be a European powerhouse with this side? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.